Good evening, St. Michael South. No, man, let me try that again. Good evening, St. Michael South. Lovely. It is a pleasure to be here for a number of reasons. First of all, let me say it is an honor, a joy, that you have chosen to represent the Barbados Labour Party in the upcoming general election, Mr. Kurt Humphrey. You can clap for that. You understand? This is a young man who not only has promise, he has a vision, he's talented. No, I am not gay, but he's good looking. You understand? But that is not just the man I'm talking about. He is qualified. You went to Britain and studied. You went to the United States and studied. But first and foremost, he studied here. And he did well in everything that he's done and set out to do. On the opposite hand, you have a man who poses as a representative of your constituency. A man who says that he is the Prime Minister of Barbados. A man that the only time you can see him is if you turn on CBC Channel 8. I telling lies? When last you see Frondell Stewart come round your house? Some people say he ain't see. Some people say it's the last election. You understand? Are you say at a funeral? Well, I know which funeral that was. The simple point I am making is this election is more than just voting B or D. This election is about saving the soul of the country that most of us here are born in. And Kurt, you have a duty to Barbados, my friend. I can repeat it again. Kurt, you have a duty to Barbados to deliver us from Pharaoh. You understand? Listen, you are from the party of Grantley Adams, Kurt. And when the planter class was destroying the soul of Barbados, Grantley Adams stood up after he came back from England and he gave up the good life, as the people will call it, and he came amongst the people and saved them. Kurt, you have the ability, you have the commitment, you have the passion, and most of all, you have a very strong St. Michael South team with you. All of you have a duty, not just for St. Michael South. You have a duty for the whole of Barbados. I have a daughter who's 5 years old. She can turn 6 this year. And I want a country where my little daughter, who is a Bajan, that 30 years from now, she can live in a country that an economy still exists. Over the last 10 years, this week, the 15th of January, was 10 years that this government took office in Barbados. Kurt tell me I ain't got 15 minutes, but I feel I need 2 hours. Because we got a lot to talk about. When the Barbados Labour Party left office on the 15th of January 2008, 10 years ago, people had hope in this country. People had the belief that I could do anything that I want to do. And now you have a situation where our economy has been destroyed and continues to be destroyed by an incompetent, inept, unscrupulous, and disingenuous bunch who care nothing about you. Can you imagine? We're in St. Michael South, but I can tell you. Can you imagine we have this national crisis on the South Coast? Some people now calling it the sewage coast. You have a crisis of such that both, well, can we say both? 3 of the major governments in the world who are our partners in trade and business, namely, first, the Canadians, then the Americans, then the British, put an advisory on their site to be seen all over the world that if you go to Barbados, you should avoid the South Coast because they got certain things flowing on the road. I won't call the word on the stage, but you know what I'm talking about. You call it jobby. You understand? And instead of the Prime Minister of Barbados, who is the current MP for St. Michael's South, and who in his last days of being the MP of St. Michael's South, because Kurt Humphrey is going to show him what is going to happen election day. You understand? Instead of him coming to the people of Barbados and saying, this is what the position is, he, even though the treasury is broken, to find it fit to take your money and take visitors of coming to Barbados to our court, wine and dine them, and talk to them and tell them about the sewage problem, but you can't find it fit to come to you and tell you what the problem is. Does that sound like a man that cares about you? No. If you cast your mind back to 2012, you know what he said? Let me read out the charge sheet. He said that Bajans like to hold on to the pig's breasts and suck it dry. You remember that, Colin? You see, you like to complain too much. But I would complain too if for 9-10 years I ain't get a salary increase. But yet, month after month after month, you go in the supermarket and all of the food that you have to eat and purchase gone up. Water rate gone up by 60% within the first year of them being elected in 2008. VAT went from 15% to now 17.5%. When Chris Sinclair, who is no friend of the truth, said that it was only supposed to be for 18 months. 4 18-month periods passed since then, and the VAT still at 17.5%. And on top of that, if you could think that they would have a little conscience, then they're going to bring this thing called the NSRL on you. I got everything but hair cost so much. You understand St. Michael's South here, Brittons Road tonight? I've seen people go in the supermarket and have to put back things on the counter. So when Frondell Stewart, if he does come this election and try to canvass and knock off the paint off of your door, ask him when last he went in Popular or Cherish and see the food prices there. He never went in there. He stopped at Massey. Lord have mercy. And this is a man who came from ordinary beginnings like me and you. You understand? I want you to understand, St. Michael's South, who we're dealing with here, you know. A man who was born in ordinary circumstances, which is not wrong because I born in the same circumstance too. But you must never forget where you come from. Ever. Me and my man Ryan Burke, we was coming down the vehicle just now, saying the same thing. You must never forget where you come from. But he finds it fit to be arrogant to talk down to you. But I want to even go further. Sometimes when things are tough in the country, you need hope. You need inspiration. Things can be tough, but if you reason with people, people will have an understanding and say, you know what, no problem, I can go the road with you. But Frondell Stewart finds it fit to be cocky and talk down to people when they complain. He does not inspire anybody. The man is so uninspiring that his shadow does not follow him. You understand? That is the kind of thing that we're dealing with. I came back from St. Vincent last night. And years ago, I could tell you, when you travel the region, I'm sure anyone here in the audience who travel the region could tell you, I'm sure Kerry could tell you, that Barbados was seen as a beacon in the Caribbean. Cynthia, telling the truth? You understand? Yesterday, I was there eating the food, me and one of my buddies, we went and had some breadfruit and some chicken backs. Just before I came to the airport, went to the airport last night. And some Vincentians offering me, saying the drink, says, boy, what happened with Barbados, bye? You wanna know why? Because they can see that this is not the Barbados that it once was. You have a situation where our currency is pegged $1 to the United States, 1 to 2. the strongest currency in CARICOM outside of the Bahamas. You understand? But yet, a country with $1 to 200, which is Guyana, the governor of the central bank at the beginning of February in 2017 said they will no longer take Bajan currency. You understand how bad things get? You understand what I'm telling you? Things are grim. But yet they will tell you they want a third term. To do what? To do what? I don't want to see my fellow brothers and sisters start to do things that they ordinarily wouldn't do. People I know have committed suicide. And this is a very serious thing. Now, this isn't the political jabs now or banter. This is a very serious thing. There are people I know who under ordinary circumstances, their mind was sound. But due to the harshness of what we are living in today, you got 3 children, talented, went to UE, start the UE, one wanting to go UE, and one almost finishing UE, and they had to stop. Why? Because the mother was the only breadwinner in the house, only making $250 Barbados a week, got rent to pay, food to buy, current to pay for, and yes, they sent her home. And on top of that, they make you now pay for UE. Ask Frondell Stewart, where did he get his qualification from? Ask him, how much money did he pay? And he can tell you it was free. But yet he could be so mean to you and us ordinary Barbadians to say that people should pay for UE. When in the last election, St. Michael South, the man get and say, they will not make you pay for it. 6 months after, they made you pay for it. Last election, 3 days before the election, the Democratic Labour Party MPs handing out job letters. Let me talk some facts tonight. The Democratic Labour Party ministers and MPs all across Barbados, especially up in Christchurch East, but Wilfred will deal with him, handing out job letters, knowing very well that there was no money in the Consolidated Fund or the Treasury to pay people. They gave them job letters. People took them into their confidence and believe, you know what? I have a job. People start to go and take out mortgages. Because you know why? You got a letter from the government saying you got a job. 2 weeks after the election, not 2 months or 2 years, there was no job. People get tricked, but you know what? You're stuck with them for 5 more years. This toss, we skinning them out. You understand? Because Barbados will no longer be the Barbados that it used to be. I can't even say that it is now, because it is struggling. If we do not elect Kurt Humphrey, if we do not elect Mia Motley as our next Prime Minister, Barbados will be no more. The church has a very serious role to play this election, you know. The church has a very serious role to play this election. I am told that I am in the earshot of the church where David Durant is the pastor. Is that correct? Yes. True? That's true? Yes. Will there be reason then? It is a situation where you should never play with God. I am very serious about this. You should never play with God. They took people into their confidence in 2008. Had gospel concert all over the place. Sister Marshall, a good woman. Joseph Niles, a good man, all of them. And they made people believe that they were the party of God. And it is not true. I would never forget, and I can say this in closing because you can see the chair like you're coming to tell me my time up. But I want 10 more hours to talk. Just kidding, man. And I would never forget, I had no move to England. And my parents tell me, Chad, a man come on the radio today and said that God is going to go into Parliament and remove an MP. I said, but who can get removed? Remember, you can't play with God. Fast forward to 8 months after that announcement of the man on the radio, the pastor. Apparently, you only had 2 people in this church. But you see those old-time churches? Those people are seriously close to God. Don't get tight with it. You understand? And as we all know, and you don't wish ill on anybody, because it can happen to any of us, David Thompson, the then prime minister, became very ill. Fast forward, he died. But just before he died, David June is on record in the newspaper, and we can deal with this when election come. Said, yeah, and Lucille Bear too. And they said that David Thompson will not die under his watch. You remember that? How many of you in here go to Restoration Ministries? Tell me. Let me talk facts. Because I understand that they're trying to do some sabotage to Kurt. But let me say to you, the God of Isaac, Abraham, and Job will not watch anyone try to do anything in God's name when it is not the truth. You understand what I'm telling you? The power of God is over Kirk Humphrey. And no weapon formed against him shall prosper. Let it be said. Open your Bible and read it. Kurt, take comfort in the fact that don't care what they try to do with you. Don't care how they try to sabotage your campaign. Don't care how they try to bad talk you. You will become victorious and become the next MP for St. Michael's South. You understand? And that's number one. And we're getting all across Barbados and we're bringing them home. We're bringing home Marsha. We're bringing home Cinti. We're bringing home Kerry. Bringing all of them. And we're bringing home Mia, Amor, Mortley. You understand? Because Barbados must become the number one developing country en route to the number one developed country in the world again. This is our land. And we must not be bystanders in it. This is our country and we must fight legally. Let me put that there. For it. Don't let them frighten you. Because you know why? We ain't just BLP people. We's Barbados. So it's thems against Barbados. You understand what I tell you? Ladies and gentlemen, I am sure that you can hear me at some point in time between now and the night when the Barbados Labour Party win the next election. All I will say to you is to make sure when you go in that box, you hold your pencil careful. You understand? Barbados Labour Party forever, fam. And you put your X squarely for Humphrey. You understand what I'm telling you? And if you put Humphrey, Frondell will be history. All right? God bless you. And thank you very much. Yeah.